y'all. This is the Dork Mother and Dork Daughter. We've talked about movies, that we've went and seen. We've talked about TV shows we like. But today, all-time greatest favorite movies that we could think of. Now, we use the criteria that was in either our DVD/Blu-ray collection or our digital collection, or something that we have in our favorites on Netflix or Hulu that we watch repeatedly. And we're going to run down the list. We can come up with lists in the future, we're probably going to, of specific genres, because we really had to get the list to where it is. We'll do a horror, we'll do romance, we'll do drama, we'll do action, whatever, because there's a big one on this list that I might throw in at the end just because it's near and dear to my heart. But here we go. Okay, first on my list, or like I said, no particular order, but this is the first one I wrote down, so it must be important. Sleeping with Other People, which is Jason Sudeikis and Alison Brie. And I mean, you go into it, it's like an independent rom-com, and you go into it and you're like, I don't know what this is about. I like Jason Sudeikis from Saturday Night Live, so we'll see what happens. And I got so emotionally invested in these two, it's ridiculous. They have a ecstasy, I want to say the ecstasy they take at the kid's birthday party and proceed to dance and just be nuts. But the part of the movie that gets me the most is, they're best friends, but as it comes together, they end up falling for each other. She has a somewhat emotional breakdown. They're laying in bed, fully clothed, just romantical style, laying in bed next to each other, face to face, on their sides. And, are we in love with each other? Yeah. What are we going to do about it? Nothing, Lainey. I love you for free. What the fuck? Jason Sudeikis, how do you have that in you? God, swear to God, my heart melted. Right there on the spot. Right there. That's all I gotta say.
Is Birds of Prey.
Just watched it the other day.
Yeah, but as we said, it's not in a particular order. I like Birds of Prey because it has Margaret Robbie in it, mostly because she plays a good psychopath, I would say, and she's my favorite actress. So, and I love all the concepts of it.
We don't really watch a lot of chick movies where chicks are the main. But if we had to pick one, Margot's her go-to. So. My list is Mr. Right, another independent rom-com. Anna Kendrick, Sam Rockwell. First of all, love her, Pitch Perfect movies, all that stuff. And then Sam Rockwell, he's like a handsome cartoon character. He doesn't make sense. He can dance. Really I think he can sing. He can act like a mother trucker and make you want to just pinch his cheeks and tell him how cute he is. The movie is he's an assassin that got betrayed and ends up getting some brain damage, so he's got this whole weird clown thing, puts a clown nose on, and anytime anybody hires him to do what he used to do, which was be a hitman, he then kills the person who tried to hire him, and in the process meets her, and there's this adorbs love story where...
And it's really cute. I almost put this on my list.
Where she figures out that that's what he does, and little by little does not care, and then becomes a hit woman herself, and it's freaking adorable, Martha, what does she goes, I'm a T-Rex!
Yeah. This is one of my top 10 of everything, is Jurassic World. I love this movie, mostly because of Chris Pratt, but I love it. It's just, I like dinosaurs, I like everything in the concept of dinosaurs, mostly.
Mostly. I don't want to see Indominus eating cutesy-wootsy plant-eater dinosaurs.
That's the one thing I don't like. But I really love, the bonding between the raptors and Chris and all of the things, which his name is Owen.
He was a puppy trainer, but the puppies can eat your face.
Yes, and his name is Owen in the movie, and he has a girlfriend, which comes...
Yeah, we don't embrace that.
We don't like her.
We're not a fan of that ginger.
No.
Who runs in heels?
Yeah, who runs in heels?
From a T-Rex.
Yeah.
What?
No one.
Last one, I swear. But Because I Said So, which is another, I'm pretty sure, straight-to-DVD release. It's got Mandy Moore, Gabriel Macht, Diane Keaton. The girl has so much trouble dating that her mom sets her up a dating profile online and then says, dudes, come to meet me here, and interviews dates. that's just kooky, and you love it. I mean, as meddling and ridiculous as her mother is, you're just like, I gotta watch this unfold. And then the guitar guy at the hotel sees this going on, which is Gabriel Macht from TV's Suits, and he gets involved, and he's not the kind of guy that her mom thinks he's got a tattoo on his hand. Oh my god. I'm like, I'll date a dude with tattoos all over. I don't give a shit. My husband's got quite a few. Not saying I would date outside of my marriage. I'm saying it if I was in this movie. That's all I'm saying. Disclaimer. Disclaimer. But yeah, and then the other dude she sets her up with is Tom Everett Scott, who's a big 90s heartthrob, and he ends up being a D-bag. So the rich, good job guy, D-bag, guy with not a lot of money who lives with his dad and his single father situation, good guy. So
good job.
So don't judge a book by its cover, Diane Keaton.
I love this movie. It is called The First Time, and it's mostly because of Dylan O'Brien, which is one of my favorite
from MTV's Teen Wolf
actors. He is my back screen on my phone. That's how you know how obsessed I am with this movie and with him.
A movie's hella realistic, though.
And I have his sweatshirt.
Yeah.
Jersey.
But like, the movie's hella realistic, though, because, like, they meet, you know, they're both, he wants to see this other girl, but the other girl doesn't give him the time of day. Victoria Justice. And he, you know, hits on this girl, and they have their moments, and then they have this makeout session, they have their first time together, and it's super awkward, just so realistic. And they decide to move past it and have a super adorbs cute love story. So
yeah, and the cute thing is that she, like, the main girl, like, bonds with his little sister, and it's so cute. Okay,
finally moving out of the rom-com genre and going into action, thriller, drama, whatever you want to call it. The Saint, which came out, I want to say 97. Yeah, showing my age here. 1997. And has Val Kilmer and Elizabeth Shue. He's, I guess, what you call a con man, thief, whatever, and he's like a master of disguise. He, you know, but all of his disguises involve saints, and he takes on their persona and their accent, and he talks and he moves, but it's adorable, you know, the love story, whatever. I moved out of the love story genre, but I kept a movie with a love story. But back in the day, once again, about to show my age, back when there was video stores, Blockbuster, and you could rent, like, the older movies were 7-day rentals. I would literally get home from school every day and watch it 2 or 3 times. Swear. Okay, so we had to switch venues because my husband got up out of bed and he wants to watch TV, and we were filming in the dining room.
My thing on my list is The Mummy, which has
Brendan Fraser, Rachel Weisz.
And they basically go on this, like, expedition, you would say, or like adventure.
Yeah.
And they go to Egypt.
Fraser's hella handsome.
Yes, I do. But
even though the movie came out before she existed,
yes,
I showed it to her. She's like,
she got it. She got me the series for Christmas, like 2 years ago. And it's really like it's like more Indiana Jones.
The scarab beetles freak me the hell out. That just eat people.
Yeah, and then they go in your skin.
The piranhas of bugs. What?
Don't make sense, and it's gross. Okay.
And it is the Boondock Saints. I named my dog Boondock and Saint after this movie. I was dating the German foreign exchange student in high school, and he's like, Kati, come over, watch this movie. And I'm horrible with the German accent, but I'm like, oh yeah, we'll check it out. And I'm like, this movie is amazing. It was a few years after it came out in the theater. It got a limited release but it's a badass movie. I will not put the second one on the list because even though I like it, I'm not obsessed with it like I was with the first one. If they came out with another one, I'd watch the shit out of it as long as it was Norman Reedus and Sean Patrick Flannery. But because the creator was talking about rebooting it with new people, and I'm like, big thumbs down. Not gonna happen.
And we watch this every
St. Patty's Day. We gotta watch the first one and the second one every St. Pat's, which is coming up, by the way.
Yeah. So we got The Grown-Ups on my next thing, and I really like it because it's really funny and it's really, I guess, worth your time.
say Adam
Because it's really
Sandler,
just- it's
Kevin
just really
James,
funny.
David Spade, Rob Schneider, Chris Rock. It's got
Cameron
all
voiced, sadly.
Of course, you would bring up the teenager in the
I
movie.
know.
Sad face.
Sad face.
But no, I get down with that one. I mean, my criteria for this list, if I had to watch it every single day, could
Yeah.
I and not get pissed? And
I
not get...
would watch Grown Ups every single day.
I could. So next on my list is The Final Girls, which is a horror comedy, and I apologize if I'm pronouncing her name wrong, but Thaisa Farmiga, she was on American Horror Story, and then Malin Ackerman, Alexander Ludwig, Nina Dobrev, Adam Devine, Thomas Middleditch, they're all in there, and it's like a horror comedy where, you know, her mom was like an 80s, I wouldn't even say B-list actress, like D-list actress, and then, spoiler, passes away very violently, and they end up going to the anniversary of the 80s slasher movie that her mom was in, and some magic happens and they end up inside the movie, and you know, it's really heartfelt, like her and her journey to, you know, bond with her mother, even though the character in the movie doesn't know she's her mother. And then the kind of budding romance between Thaisa Farmiga and Alexander Ludwig's character is super adorbs. And then her finding empowerment that even though she's a small little girl, she can kick the shit out of the big bad monster.
So, I got Mean Girls. Like, I used to watch this every single day. Like, I would take it out of our disc rack.
It would never
Too
leave
many.
her room.
It would
She
never
would watch
leave
it
my room.
endlessly.
It would eventually. Was in my cupboard, and I had to give it back to her.
Yeah,
She
I was
didn't
like,
know where it
part
went.
of the DVD collection, woman. But yeah, you got your Lindsay Lohan, your Rachel McAdams, or the ever quotable line, which people don't always know what it's from, but Amy Poehler in her, I'm not a regular mom, I'm a cool mom. And it's very quotable, you know, you
On Wednesdays, we were
yeah,
pink.
Gogol and Coco, you Gogol and Coco. Or if any of you been personally victimized by insert meme-ness here.
Raise your hand.
Yeah, raise your hand. So yeah, or you don't even go here.
We, at my school, we quote it a lot between me and my friends.
Okay. Next, my list, sticking with horror comedy, Happy Death Day. It's like you go into it thinking it's gonna be like the slasher flick, like Scream, and it has so much heart and so much comedy and like the love story that her and the dude develop. Like, I love Tree; she's a sassy bitch, and the whole, you know, as you know, the movie goes on and she knows how far into this she is because she remembers everything and he doesn't. And like the girl at the sorority house, she's like, I'm gonna go find him and I'm gonna have his babies. Like, okay, good for you. Love it. And that's another one that you got into.
So, I have She's the Man next on my list, and it's basically about this brother and sister, and he's going to, like, fancy boarding school or college, I don't know which one it is.
And
But
he don't want to go.
But he don't want to go, but she does.
And,
But
well,
they
because
don't-
she wants to play soccer for the school, and they're like, no girls.
Yeah.
Girls team.
And then she disguises herself as a man, and basically, she meets Channing Tatum. But he doesn't realize that she's a woman. Like, and then at the end of the movie, she's like, "Oh, here's my boobs!"
Yeah.
Like,
It's like a little risque
No,
for
like-
like a PG-13 flick, but hey, it's Channing Tatum. The next one is I Could Never Be Your Woman, which is once I'm back in the rom-coms.
Never seen it.
But Michelle Pfeiffer, Paul Rudd, a young Saoirse Ronan who's killing it in the Oscar game nowadays. But she was like, that was like her first movie. She was like 10, 11, 12, something like that. But the whole gist is like Michelle Pfeiffer's an older woman. She runs this TV show. This young hot dude, Paul Rudd, comes in to audition for the show, and they kind of hit it off. And she thinks she's too old, and he doesn't care. They both lie about their age. He lies that he's older. She lies that she's younger. There's this whole hilariously adorable dance club scene where he dances to a Will Smith song with like a cane, and it's ridiculous. Yeah, the whole idea is, you know, that women can't date younger men and they'll never work out. But guess what? It's super adorable. Next movie is Jaws, baby. Oh man, I mean, the movie came out well before I was born. Well, not well before, but a while.
I almost put this on my list too.
And I have watched it multiple times a year my entire life, to the point where it drives my husband crazy. We own the entire series, even Jaws of Revenge, which nobody likes to talk about. And I've watched it endless amount of times. It's endlessly quotable. In Smile, you son of a bitch. Or, you know, we're gonna need a bigger boat.
Hoopa!
Hoopa! Hoopa! Or, you know, the show me the way to go home. Home, I'm tired and I want. Or the shark's eyes, like a doll's eyes. You know, like I could quote it all day.
I have Pitch Perfect on here. It's not the second one, it's not the third one, it's the first one. Because they all dumped the boys in the second and the third
Women
one.
empowerment. We don't need men. Whatever. If you don't got Skylar Astin or Adam Devine, I ain't in it. You need Jesse and you need Bumper.
You just need them. They're part of the storyline. But it's a rom-com in our movie section. It's a rom-com. But it's more comedy than rom.
Yeah,
but,
she was actually quite disappointed though.
Yeah.
Why isn't this over?
Yeah, I was
because it's romantic.
Sort of.
The whole end at the beginning or the end of the movie where they throw it back to when he was trying to get her to embrace things that he liked, and he's like, you know, don't you forget about me, you know. It's like, you know, and then the whole moment where she comes off the stage and he's like, oh yeah, and he's like, oh, shut up and kiss me or whatever. And then as she's singing, he just does this. You know, you gotta love it. Yeah, the Kingsmen. If anybody knows me, they'll know that I'm super into like British culture, you know, like Irish, Scottish, all that. I mean,
she likes
I watch endless amounts of,
yeah.
of TV shows of them online, and this movie kind of put all that together and made it super badass. I'm Colin Firth fan all day, every day, and so seeing him in here was amazing.
Are big Harry Potter fans, and so is my little brother. Even with the books, I read all the books. But my favorite Harry Potter movie is The Goblet of Fire.
It's got Edward Cullen in it.
It does, but
Diggory.
sadly, he dies. Sadly, sad face.
That's the only reason I watched.
That's the only reason
And then
she
he
watched
died,
it.
and then I was super pissed.
But Harry Potter is a 8-movie series. It's a 9-book series.
Is it 9 or is it 8 books?
It's 9.
Oh, are you adding in the new books?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, but anyways, it's a 9-book series. And basically, Harry Potter is this kid.
People don't need Harry Potter explained to
I know,
them.
but basically,
What
it's
do
this
you?
kid. I like.
The Triwizard Tournament?
Yes.
That's all you had to say. Triwizard Tournament.
Yeah, Triwizard Tournament.
Don't they have the ball thing and the dude that's like a shark guy hits on Hermione?
Hermione?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. That dude was pretty good looking.
Yes, kind of. Okay, but anyways, I liked Draco Malfoy. Draco Malfoy is my favorite person in this movie because he's so sassy, like me. But
He's an albino devil.
no, he's not. He's not a devil. He's just a kid. Okay, he's just a kid who wants to be loved. That's the only reason.
Next one, Silence of the Lambs. I don't care what anybody says. It's a creepy ass movie, but I don't care what anybody says. Anthony Hopkins is just a badass. Like my husband likes to say that the only reason I like actors is because they're good looking. And like maybe Anthony Hopkins was in his day, but I started watching him when he was like a 50, 60 some year old man. So, new husband, because he's amazing. And like I said, you know, having a badass cop chick who starts off awkward and kind of comes into her own, yeah, I'm down with that. But just the sheer creepiness / just mind melding craziness that he comes up with and the quote and him and a census taker tried to talk to me once. I ate his liver with some fava beans and a nice candy.
She's told me about this.
A lot.
Okay, so this one I watched literally almost a lot. I've watched it almost like twice a day, every single day since she's introduced me to it. No, okay.
And read the book.
Okay, I heard I read the book. and I really want to see the second one, but it's rated R. And I love it.
So, my second to last movie is Slapshot. It's almost the oldest one on the list, other than Jaws. Came out in the 70s, but it's just hockey comedy. You got the Hanson brothers. You got dudes talking about masturbating in the penalty box. Like, it's just over the top. A whole scene at the end where the dude strips down to his jock strap and skates around to a stripper song. Dun, 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 dun. You know, there's some serious bits in the movie where, like, you know, people are losing their jobs and this guy and his wife are splitting up and so on and so forth. But just the comedy, like, straight out the gate with the goalkeeper and how he misunderstands things. It's like, you know, penalty box. You go into the box for 2 minutes and you fish aim, and then you get free. Like, just the way he interprets things and the way he describes things in hockey terms, he's like, comedy. And then the guy who hosts the local TV show that talks about the hockey, I highly recommend it, definitely. Paul Newman, love it. We actually figured out it was on both of our lists, so we decided to do it last to round it out. And it is
Pride and Prejudice.
Yeah, we're those cheesy girls that like Jane Austen stuff. What are you going to do about it? Nothing. The 2005 version with Keira Knightley and Matthew McFadyen, primarily, even though I'm a lover of Colin Firth, but that was more of a TV miniseries in 1995. And if I have to choose my Elizabeth Bennet, it's going to be Keira Knightley all day long. If I had to pick Matthew McFadyen or Colin Firth, that one's a tough one. But the way Matthew McFadyen just puts out the lines that just make you, oh, you've bewitched me.
Or like, I love you.
I most ardently love you.
Mr. Darcy.
Yeah, Mr. Darcy. He's definitely good, Mr. Darcy.
Thanks for visiting the Dork Mother. Please be sure to like and subscribe.